Royals baseball comes to you from downtown Houston, Texas, where the team is hot, the weather is hot, and thank goodness we are inside for a three-game series between the Royals and the Astros. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. And we knew coming into 2018 that this was going to be a transition season for the Royals, win or lose. And one of the things the Royals needed to find out this year, can Adalberto Mondesi play shortstop at the major league level? He's going to get his first start tonight, so to make room for him, Alcides Escobar will be in center field.
Hey, this is part of the excitement of the season that you have to look to. Now, to be a professional in any sports at all, you have to be a good athlete. But obviously, these two guys are the premium athletes on this ball club. We're talking about shortstops that have great footwork, have good speed, and can do it all. So this transition won't be hard for either one of them, especially Escobar, who's been playing shortstop almost every day in his career. Look, he's going to make some catches out there. I can't wait to watch him play.
Well, the Royals are going up against the best pitching staff in the major leagues. They're going to need some offense to get going over the weekend. Maybe they can ride Mike Moustakas, who has a 6-game hitting streak. Mike Moustakas' numbers don't look very good in June, but that doesn't mean he's not swinging the bat well.
No, you got that right, partner. He's been all over the ball. He's hitting line drives. I mean, he's squaring them up at 95 plus. Moustakas is on a nice hitting streak right now, and he's using the whole field. I'd like to see that. Popping those homers out are going to help too.
Rematch tonight between Danny Duffy and Dallas Keuchel. They faced one another last Saturday in Kansas City. 2015. They're trying to slow down the hottest team in the major leagues. The Astros have won 12 of their last 13. The lineups and the first pitch are coming up next. Degrees inside Minute Maid Park, and a big crowd here on a Friday night for the Royals and the Astros. Here's the Royals batting order, and it's been a struggle offensively for the Royals. They have now scored 4 runs or fewer in their last 14 games. That ties a team record, which was first established back in 2013. And they'll try and break that tonight against left-hander Dallas Keuchel, the former Cy Young winner, who's having a down year. He is 4-8 this year. His ERA is 4.15. However, here at Minute Maid Park, his ERA is over 5. Hud, one of the Royals' keys against him tonight.
4-1-5, Rhino. I got to believe getting good hitting counts, because the numbers say that when the hitter gets ahead of Keuchel, he's going to give him something good to hit. That is a cookie. Don't miss it either. 4.66 opponent average.
Whit Merrifield has an on-base percentage moving up on 370 this year. And during the homestand, he was on base 12 times. With 7 hits, 4 walks, and he was hit by a pitch. And Keuchel's first pitch is a little bit high, ball 1. Whit already has a career high in walks in the Royals' first 75 games, and that's ricocheted off of Keuchel and into foul territory. And Whit's on to begin the game.
Well, where'd that get him?
It hit something solid, that's for sure.
Sure did. Again, you can tell where the ball bounced, that it was a square hit, and Whit will take it. He'll get the hit. I don't know if he got his glove or his knee or what, but he certainly didn't limp. The defense, Marwin Gonzalez, man, he's started in 5 positions this year. For A.J. Hinch, he's extremely valuable. Correa, wow, he's just made just 2 errors all year. Of course, he leads the American League in fielding percentage with 234 chances. He's solid.
Keuchel tells everybody he's fine. Where did it get him? The outside of his left knee.
You just never know in this game. I mean, if he would have come out after just 2 pitches, I could have thrown a wrench into A.J. Hinch's bullpen and whole system. So thankfully he's okay. Don't want to see anybody get hurt like that. But Whitley, like I said, lots of times the ball will bounce off to a player out there and they throw you out. So Whitley's got some good fortune so far.
Rosell Herrera is going to bat second again tonight. Herrera, during the Royals' last homestand, picked up his first Major League extra base hit, his first Major League RBIs, and his first Major League stolen base. Merrifield started to go and stopped. And they're going to say that Herrera committed on that bunt, so he's down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes.
Tried to pull the bat back in time, but let's see if he did actually. Just a little hesitant, but it looked like he really pulled it back.
Might have been a little jab before he
right
pulled
at the end. Yeah, right at the very when the ball got there, he pushed and then pulled at the same time.
One ball, 2 strikes on Herrera.
Stassi's got a good arm. He's throwing 2. He's thrown out 23% of runners this season. And he can hit. He's hit those left-handers. That's why he's in there. 352 average for Max Stassi.
Herrera finally asked for time as Keuchel came set and just froze. Last Saturday at Kauffman Stadium, it was Duffy and Keuchel. Astros ended up winning that game 10-2. Royals scored 2 runs in 6 innings in that game against Keuchel. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Both runs were unearned. It was the second start this season that Dallas Keuchel had without allowing unearned run. He is 4-1 in his career against the Royals. And that's his first strikeout of the night, 1 down. The Astros lead the major leagues in ERA, and they have a great starting rotation. Arcia drive to success. Not only is that the best ERA in the major leagues, 2.91, but since the beginning of the designated hitter back in 1973, that is the lowest ERA for any team in the American League in their first 76 games. So they have been historically good to begin the year. They also have the second lowest bullpen ERA in the major leagues. Mike Moustakas drove in 6 during the homestand. He has 48 on the year. That ties him for 8th in the American League. He also got a home run, Hud, on Wednesday night, and that broke a long drought for him hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
Yeah, you know, he's known as a power hitter. You know, all the home runs, breaking the Royals record last year. That was good for him, his confidence.
Altuve bobbled and trying to hurry to get the flip to second base, so the sure out was over at first. So 2 down with Merrifield at second base.
Hey, maybe a good sign. The Royals didn't get doubled up that time. Now knock that run in. They might have been able to get 2, but he took his eye off it. He's going to flip it over there. Got to make sure of 1 before you can get 2. So now make it hurt. Early, Salvador Perez, 236 hitter with a runner in scoring position.
little bit inside for ball one to Salvi. The Reds, the Astros, and the Rangers held Salvador Perez during that long homestand without an RBI. And now he's got a chance to drive in a run to begin the road trip. And it's a ground ball to Correa. Salvi's out, and so the Royals in the top of the first inning. So now it's Danny Duffy to make his second start against the Astros in a week. No score, bottom of the first inning. George Springer will lead off for the Astros, and for the second time in a week, Astros manager A.J. Hinch will have all right-hand batters against Danny Duffy. And last Saturday at Kauffman Stadium, that all right-handed lineup scored 6 runs in 6 innings against Danny Duffy. He makes his 16th start. He is 3-7 this year, 2-3 in his career against the Astros.
Yeah, and you noticed he wrote the number 30 in behind the mound for his good late friend Giordano. Carries him. A lot of these players carry him wherever they go. Command for Duffy. Trying to get some command of that fastball. 4.35 walks per 9 innings. That's the highest in his career. That'll keep his pitch count down as well.
1-1 on George Springer. The Astros, when they swept the Royals last weekend, outscored the Royals 24-9. And they got very little from George Springer. He was 1 for 14 in that series with no RBIs. He did score a couple of runs. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He can lead off. Statistically, I mean, he swings for the fence, no doubt, but he's able to get on base, generate something. That's amazing that they were able to hold him down like that, but it didn't seem like they held anybody else down, because they were really tough at the K.
Yeah, certainly plenty of guys picked up the slack. Right. Alex Bregman had a good series. Carlos Correa, Evan Gattis, Marwin Gonzalez. That's true. Good spot, a fastball over the outside edge. So Springer is 1 for 15 against the Royals this year.
Okay, Salvador Perez puts his glove right there. Duffy didn't miss it. 95, and Springer, you got to go. Poured around the horn, Royals defense. Alcides Escobar getting his first career start in center field. Fantastic. Can't wait to watch him go get him. Mondesi, same goes for him at shortstop. He's ready. Let's see how he does. Two great athletes, no doubt. Watching Escobar at the K, taking balls live off the batting practice bats. He looked like he had no issues whatsoever. Ned Yost before the game says I'm not one bit concerned about Escobar. And one of the reasons is he plays shortstop and his footwork is impeccable. I mean, he's got great feet. He knows how to judge the ball. And he has a new glove, a different glove.
And that's a pretty good backdrop right there for a center fielder. Because, you know, someone brought up, why would you want to start him indoors? Well, this isn't the kind of roof where you're going to lose the ball in the roof. It's dark behind home plate. He doesn't have to worry about any sun. He doesn't have to worry about any wind. He doesn't have to worry about twilight. So actually, it's a pretty good place for him to make his first start. And now Bregman is down on strikes. He's not very happy with first base umpire Bill Welke. And it's back-to-back strikeouts for Danny Duffy.
You're exactly right, Ryan. It's all the conditions that we normally talk about in an outdoor game somewhere, which affect the game. Yeah, he went. He doesn't have to worry about that here. Great point.
Jose Altuve with 2 down and nobody on. Hitting .347. That leads the major leagues. And he also leads the majors with 105 hits. And that's a routine fly ball to right field. Herrera makes the play, and Danny Duffy has a 10-pitch 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning. Hunter Dozier will lead off the top of the second inning. Remember, if the Royals hit a triple in tonight's game, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the KC Urban Youth Academy. It'll be Dozier, Gordon, and Escobar. Shallow right field. Springer is there. And there's one down. And now Alex Gordon, like Salvador Perez, did not drive in a run during the homestand. And the Royals are trying to shake a bad June on offense. The Royals are averaging just 2.1 runs per game in 18 games this month.
Yep, it's about as bad as it gets. But you know what? You just got to continue to fight, go out, take batting practice, work on things until it changes, and it will. You believe that.
Over the inside corner. Strike one on Alex Gordon. Alex over his last 5 games. He's hitting over .330 and on base in half of his plate appearances. And he is bound and determined to get a bunt base hit to that third base side.
He is, and he's going to find out once he does get that down. He's going to get confidence in it, and you know, you get 2, maybe 3 of those a year. It does a lot for your batting average and pulls those defenders around.
Keuchel would be a tough guy for a left-hand batter to bunt to third. Because that movement is coming in on him.
If there's any falling, usually they fall to the third base side, and plus Keuchel, he's a Gold Glover. He can bounce, spring. He's a good athlete.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Out over the plate, Correa shifts over to the right side, 2 down. And Dallas Keuchel is right. That's his game. Ground balls. Last year, he had the highest ground ball rate in the major leagues, just a shade under 67%. This year, about 56%, which is still 4th best in the major leagues. So down for him is still pretty good.
It is, and you know, when you have that type of movement, the hitter's going to hit the top of the ball and pull it mostly because he's facing a lot of right-handed batters. And they're not chasing pitches like they used to. Brent Strom was telling me before the game that he relies on chase, relies on hitters that chase. And Royals would be a perfect candidate for Keuchel because of their aggressiveness. The fact that they haven't been chasing, you see the sinker, 43% sinkers. So of course, seeing fastball up can be effective, cutter, slider change, but sinker is his pitch.
And that one sinks down and out of the strike zone. You know, that bottom line there, 279. That's not a bad number, but last year the league hit 224 against his sinker.
Yeah, and I think that's what he was talking about, chasing. When they were chasing, a lot of guys were. Make sure they're laying off.
Well, here's your key. Try and get ahead in the count against Keuchel, which is hard to do.
Nope, just don't miss it.
Line foul. Nice grab by a fan who got his glove. Good play, and he saved the fans behind him because that ball was coming in hot. And you see the lady right behind him, her hand over her heart.
He didn't even watch that ball in. Look at the lady sitting next to him. She's covering up.
We're being told by the local crew here in Houston that guy, it's not the first time he's got a foul ball. He's got his glove, got up quickly, leaned over the wall.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does.
Still 3-2 on Escobar.
Esky battling. He's hitting 250 with a homer off of lefties. And is 6 for 22 against Keuchel with a homer in his career. So he's looking to drive. Short porch in left field here. 350 down the line. Get it over that tall wall.
And a line drive into center field. Marisnik cuts it off. Escobar's at first with 2 down.
Starting the trip with a base hit. All right. Maybe a change of scenery for the Royals and they get on the road. They'll start producing a little bit more. That's 90. Keuchel, you know, good spot. Escobar went with it. New start, new position. That's start working on getting that batting average back up there.
Inside on Paulo Orlando. Paulo is 4 out of 28 in his 8 games since being called up from Omaha. Got a ground ball, but it's through the hole on the left side, and the Royals have back-to-back singles with 2 down.
So far in back-to-back innings, the Royals, they've missed on hitting into double plays. Maybe it's changing. The tide's turning. Look at that. Paulo wrapped it. He took that little top hand and really made that work in the hole there. With 2 outs. See if they can scrap one of those runs home, maybe 2. Mondesi.
Over the outside, strike 1. Both teams have hit into a lot of double plays this year. In fact, they are tied for the American League lead. Both teams have hit into 74 double plays this season. 1 ball, 1 strike. It has hurt the Royals a lot more than it's hurt the Astros. They're still second in the American League in runs per game.
Their power is so good. They can hit him out of the park.
Mondesi's ahead. 2 balls, 1 strike. So Escobar makes his first start in center field. Mondesi makes his first start in the major leagues at short. Well, we'll see if Esky can play center field, but so far we know he can hit when he plays center field. He's hitting 1,000 when he plays in the outfield. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Making him work.
Still 2-2. Royals have one of their greatest memories in team history here, winning Game 4 of the division series in 2015. Down by 4 going into the 8th. And they have a winning record here. They're 18-14 in this ballpark. The Astros have a winning record at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals have a winning record here at Minute Maid Park.
Hope it holds true. You know, Moose was talking about that in the dugout today. Hall of Famer Craig Biggio was sitting in the dugout. The two introduced themselves and they started talking about that one game here. And I said, me and Goldie were in Kansas City wrapping it up and thought it was over. And Moose said, I was in the dugout screaming and yelling at the guys saying, I don't want to go home, let's stay. It worked.
in center field. He keeps stopping to talk to people on his way in and out. The umpire at third base, Carlos Correa, I'm sure they're all saying, wait a minute, what are you doing in center field? But Eske said today, I can't wait. I just want to go and have some fun. A little bit of experience. He played 5 games in the outfield last in 2010. Those are his only games of experience, but guys, 4 of them were in a mid-game switch. National League rules, he would go from shortstop to the outfield. He has 2 innings in his career, 1 game in center field. That's it. The 1 start he had in the big leagues in the outfield was in right field in 2010. His center fielder for Milwaukee that day was Lorenzo Cain. He told me today that he's never played any outfield in the minor leagues, never played any outfield in instructional league, and as a kid in Little League, he said he would always play shortstop, maybe pitch for 1 inning in relief, and that was it. But he said, I just want to get out there and have fun, and I want to throw someone out tonight.
Thanks, Joel. And, interesting, worry about Escobar reading balls in the outfield and getting used to the different depth perception. But talking with Mitch Meyer, he said one of the things you have to be concerned with is Eske's throwing. And that's because Eske has a cannon for an arm. And Mitch, the way he put it, he said, guys who can throw want to throw. And so learning what Alex Gordon does so well. When do you air it out? When do you realize there's no chance to get the guy out and just hit the cutoff man? That's probably going to be a bigger adjustment for him than it is running down fly balls.
Yep, makes sense. Because I saw Joel in his pregame show when they had a camera on Eske, and he was at the end of his interview, he said, I can't wait to throw somebody out. So there you go, to your point.
Got to pick the right time to try and throw somebody out.
And it's a little bit harder because your center field, you're deeper than the other guys are. That's a longer throw, especially home. But Mitch Meyer is doing a lot of moving with him. Eske's eyes are all over his outfield instructor.
2 balls, 2 strikes. What do you think he's thinking now? Do you think he wants a ball hit to him just so he can, in his mind, say, okay, I can catch a ball out here? Or do you think it's good for him to have an inning or so to just kind of calm the nerves?
No, knowing Eske, he wants the ball. And he wants it so he can run and dive and make a play. That's what he wants, in my opinion.
That's to the gap in left center field. It'll be Alex Gordon's play out the wall. Carlos Correa, who had 2 home runs and 4 RBIs against the Royals last weekend, begins this series with a double.
14th of the year, and he can jump on him. He reached out. That was a changeup at 86, out over the plate. But he reached out. It was on the lower half. Put it in a good spot.
So he's in scoring position with nobody out for the most dangerous hitter, if you go by the numbers, in the major leagues with runners in scoring position, Yuli Gurriel. So he's a 300 hitter altogether, but you put a runner in scoring position and then suddenly he's hitting 463.
Using the whole field too. He's not a one-dimensional type hitter.
Ruled inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. And Gurriel, he just simply leads the way for a team that leads the league hitting with runners in scoring position. Two balls and 1 strike. Highest in the major leagues, and the Astros also lead the American League in batting average and on base percentage. 2nd in the league in runs per game.
Hey, at least they are 2nd in something. But you mentioned all their pitching numbers, starting pitching, bullpen. So no wonder they're the first team to win 50 games.
Evan Gattis, who's been an RBI machine this month, is waiting on deck. Gurriel is on. And it didn't like Duffy really wanted to challenge Gurriel there. He had an open base to work with, and now Evan Gattis. Here's our Kubota power stats. 23 RBIs this month. That leads the major leagues. And the Astros still have 9 more games. He is 6 RBIs this month from tying Jose Cruz and Jimmy Wynn for the team record. He has Correa at second, Gurriel at first with nobody out. And a ground ball right to Witt.
Roll him
Out
up.
at second. Double play.
Yes.
That's 75 for the Astros this year.
All right. That was not easy. Gattis ran hard, almost beat it out, but good job by Whitney and Mondesi as Mondesi turns his first double play as a starting shortstop. Cleared himself with no problem to rely on his strong arm. He winds up. It's the 4th induced ground ball double play by Duffy.
And now Marwin Gonzalez, who's hitting .257. But he's been a completely different hitter since June 1st. Runner at third, 2 down. It's been 2 different seasons for Gonzalez. Through the end of May, he was hitting .217. His slugging percentage was .321 since June 1st. .429 with a .738 slugging percentage. One ball, one strike. Ben Zobrist type player, switch hitter, and can play all over the field.
That's right. Astros will have a little dilemma when he becomes a free agent at the end of the year. They want to keep him. Someone out there will be happy to employ him.
Got him to chase it. 96 from Danny Duffy, and that is his 3rd strikeout. So the Astros had 2 on and nobody out. Duffy gets a double play from Gattis and a strikeout against Gonzalez. Jose Altuve, childhood friends from Venezuela. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. or you can stream it live with Fox Sports Go. And one of the broadcasters tomorrow, is joining us here in the booth. AJ Pierzynski, who I remember as a 21-year-old kid back in 1998.
Oh,
the Minnesota Twins. I think it was your first series, if I recall, was at Tiger Stadium. Is that right?
I was close. My first one was actually in Anaheim.
It was in Anaheim. Okay.
You know, my first the story I tell. I don't know where you were, HUD, in '98, but my first day in the big leagues was the day Mark McGwire broke the home run record.
Okay.
So they stopped BP in the Big A,
so that everyone could watch it.
So everyone could watch it during batting practice. They stopped BP and everyone watched it on the big screen out in right center. And I remember I was stretching, and so my first memory as a major league was Mark McGwire breaking the home run record. And it was easy. It was 9/8/98, so I had it easy to remember my first day in the major leagues.
And HUD, that was the first year of 19 years in the big leagues as a catcher.
It's impressive. Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I made it a lot longer than I ever thought. I mean, I remember being 22, 23, and I'm like, gosh, I got to do this for 10 years. There's no way I'll ever make it. And then fortunate enough to play till I was 39 and had a nice run.
So how do you feel? Knees, hips, ankles?
I got no problems.
Wonderful.
None. Like literally
Wow.
no physical ailments at all.
Did you have any surgeries?
No.
Anything?
I had my hamate taken out, 99.
Come on. Really?
Yeah, no surgeries.
You are totally blessed.
Bruce Chen broke my wrist once. That was the highlight of my career.
You've had more highlights than that. Was that when he was with the Royals?
When he was with the Royals.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I still don't like that guy. No, I'm just kidding.
Now, HUD, I had the privilege of knowing him when he was just a kid. I wasn't much older than he was.
Yeah, what were you, like
at
2
the
years
time.
older
Yeah,
than
I don't think I was much older than you were, but
Where?
And you know, all throughout his career, I loved talking to AJ because he had so many great insights on the game. I knew if he wanted to do this broadcasting, he'd be really good at it. But you had a switch that you would flip when the game started. You had a way of, I don't know if you would say the wrong thing at the wrong time or the right thing at the right time, because you had a physical way of helping your team win the game, and I always felt like you had an emotional way, psychological way of helping your team win the game. You agree with that?
I can't argue that. I'll say this. One of the reasons when I stopped playing was because I had to hate the other team. Like I had, even if Dallas Keuchel, who I know well, I've been to Hawaii with him before, but I'm facing him. I had to figure out, man, I hate him because we played beach volleyball against each other, and he spiked it on me one time. Like, just like I had to find that edge, and I always had to have that. And it started when I was younger, and worked my way up. I just couldn't be the warm and fuzzy guy, and that was the way I had to get ready to play every day. And at the end of my career, I started losing that, and I started losing the ability to fake it. And that was when I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore, because I just couldn't play the way that I needed to play. And every person's different, but HUD was like super nice, super energy guy. I was the guy that sat in the corner and wanted to kill everybody.
I was nice until we got between the lines.
Yeah, no, but I couldn't. As soon as it was like 6 o'clock, it was like, boom. All right, no more nice guy. Let's be as mean as we can.
Yeah, and that's just kind of how some guys played, and we're comfortable doing that. I was too. Plus, I was a 10-year minor leaguer, so when I got to the majors, I was like, you know what? Someone's paying for the time I just did. So that was my mentality, and it worked. And then fortunately, I got to go to Japan after 5 years in the majors, learn how to play under control, because their players were all taught that. So I brought my game down a little bit, same intensity, but not with the intent to hurt my opponent. So I got 5 more years when I came back after Japan.
Well, I never tried to hurt anybody. I don't want anyone to think that I tried to hurt it. I never tried to hurt anybody. I just, in my mind, it was always, especially like my at-bats, it was me against the pitcher. There was no like, let's play games, let's have fun. Like, it was for those 2 minutes that I was in the box, like that was my time. And I just had to do it that way. And then like catching, it was always my pitch calling against the hitter and with the pitcher. So it wasn't like I'm going out there trying to kill somebody or hurt somebody. It was more like I have to just make this as competitive as possibly can to get through it and to get myself ready for the next day.
What do you think about our high-energy catcher that's on deck?
He's a great player. Obviously, I saw him when he first came up, but I mean, he's amazing. He's durable. He can hit.
Can you stick around another half inning?
If you need me to, that was a quick inning. Absolutely.
Royals are 3 up, 3 down against Keuchel. We'll continue with AJ Pierzynski when we come back. Kansas City is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. There it is outside Minute Maid Park. To the left of that, 2015, where the Royals eliminated the Astros in the division series. And we're chatting with A.J. Pierzynski. He will call the game tomorrow on Fox with Kevin Burkhardt, who's one of my favorite guys.
He's the best.
One of the nicest guys in the business. And versatile. David Cohn, former Royals, also going to be in the broadcast booth tomorrow. That's a heck of a broadcast team.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun to have a pitcher when you're a catcher.
Exactly.
Because you can talk strategy, you can talk pitching, you can talk hitting, and it gives you someone to bounce stuff off of between innings and say, oh, you know, we saw Danny Duffy do this, and what do you think, Coney? And Coney, the career David Cohn have, he has all the insight to a pitcher and what they can do and what they're talking about. So it's fun. It gives you both angles, and then you have Dylan Berkey, who is versatile and can talk pop culture or whatever you want to talk about off the cuff. It's great.
So that leads me into what was going to be my next question. You being a thinking man as a player and playing a thinking man's position, how is that translated to being in the broadcast booth and now having to teach the game to people who don't know the game as well as you do?
Well, as a catcher, you see, you're the only one facing the other 9 players. So you're looking and you see everything. And the way the game's changed now with the shifts and the defensive alignments and everything, right at the end, we kind of started doing that, and there was still some issues, but it just opened it up because you had to know how to deal with bunts. You had to know how to deal with different rules and things, the way they're handled, the way the pitchers go, the way the defense pitch to where your defense is playing. Like if you're playing a guy to pull, you don't want to pitch him away, so you pitch away from your defense. So it's all incorporated. Plus, you had to go up there and trying to get a hit off these guys throwing 95. So as a catcher, you kind of had the whole thing. You had to deal with pitchers. I mean, Hud played in the field, but he never had to walk up to a pitcher in the 8th inning and say, "Can you get me one more out to get through this?" I mean, that's a different.
Well, Alcides Escobar will get his first test.
You see him raise his hand. Who is he calling off?
The guy in the Budweiser patio up there with the Houston sign.
Way to go, Esky.
Old habits are hard to break.
Yeah. Hey, AJ, right before the inning now, let's check out Esky. Watch him. Look at, he's saying, I got it.
Yeah.
That's from his infield days.
That's right.
But, you know, we were talking about Salvi. You know, is big a catcher. You're not a small guy, but he's a pretty large catcher. And what's his biggest job he has back there?
Well, for him, I mean, for Salvi, it's just staying small enough. I mean, he's bigger than I am, and I played at 250, and he's bigger than I am. So I mean, I don't know what. I'm not saying he's overweight at all, but I mean,
built differently.
Yeah, he's bigger than I am. Bigger shoulders, bigger hands, bigger everything. So for me, it's just keeping it under control to where he can get back there every day. The movement, keeping his movement skills up. I know he's had some minor knee stuff here and there. So just keeping his knees healthy and ready to go. But I mean, him and Yadi Molina, who else catches over 120 games a year? Those two guys, right? Nowadays.
Yeah, he's been throwing. He lost his Gold Glove last year.
So he's mad.
Yeah, he basically said, I want it back. So he's throwing on 56% of the runners, 11 for 20 this year.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was usually 11 for 200.
Yeah, but you did pretty well.
Well, you were one of those. You know, for your era, you were one of those Iron Man guys. You had what, like 12 seasons in a row where you caught at least 1,000 innings, wasn't it? Or
yeah, it was something like that. It was long. It was a long time. That was kind of, we talked about earlier, the way I had to play. Like that was the way I could get myself going. But I just wanted to be back there, and then I was luckily for years and years and years. I was lucky just to have managers that would keep putting me out there. Now, in 2014, I went to the Red Sox for half the year before I went to the Cardinals, and the Red Sox, I went in the year and they're like, we're going to try and play you 100 games. And I'm like, what? Like, no, 100 is a good number. And if you look now, that's kind of the benchmark number for catchers now. It's like 100 games and stop. And I don't know. I don't understand why. I guess they're saying you do better if you only catch 100 than if you catch 120 or 30. But I mean, like Salvi and Yadi, those guys, they catch 162 if they let them.
Way upstairs to Springer, 3 balls, 1 strike.
So didn't you want to play every day, Hud?
I did.
Right? You don't want to sit over there.
No, I was forced to accept my role or go home.
Well, No, but
So
but you still deep down though you're like, man,
Yeah.
even though you did accept it because you're a professional, you still were like, I still want to be out there.
I couldn't wait. You know, yeah. I couldn't wait till my name. I go 2 weeks sometimes without playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when I would either have a little visit with the manager, or I'd have a visit with my teammates, you know, before the game in the clubhouse, and stand up and yell, "Hey, if somebody doesn't want to play today, let the skipper know, because I haven't played in 2 weeks, and I'm tired of watching some of these guys, you guys dragging around here. Let's go." And they'd look at me and they know, and they turn back around and go, "Oh yeah, here's Tud's talking." And they knew it was real, because I got married, and you can't. I got to make some money for my new wife and my family. You can't make any money if you don't play.
Yeah, I've never had that, but I understand.
So that just answered your question.
Yeah, you wanted to play. Everyone wants to play. No one wants to not play. You're here because you like playing baseball. You're not here to sit because you enjoy sitting on a bench watching a game.
Springer takes inside for a walk, so it's 1 out, a hit batter and a walk. That's Duffy's second. And now Bregman's coming up. All right, AJ, you won the World Series in '05 with the White Sox, and I was curious what you guys did the next year. And you guys finished in third, but you still won 90 games. I mean, it's just your former team, Minnesota, just had a 96-win season. But over the long haul, what do the Astros need to do or guard against to make sure? You know, right now there looks like there's no World Series hangover, but what needs to happen the year after the World Series if you want to get back again?
Well, I think they were smart bringing in Garrett Cole, a guy that wasn't on that team, and he's still hungry. And the arm he has and the ability he has, I think, was huge for their rotation. We kind of brought back the same guys, and they were a little bit down. And I think people have learned from that over the years. Look at what the Cubs did after they won. They kind of kept their pitchers out of some innings in spring training, and a lot of these teams are kind of backing some guys off playing time-wise. There was no thought of that after we won. We just played. We won 90 games. We had a good year, but the Tigers that year and the Twins had 95-plus wins. So it's not like I was like, man, we had a terrible year. We won 90 games. That usually gets you to the postseason. But as a player, you never say, oh, I was tired from the year. But it takes some stuff away. It takes away your preparation. It does, because you're doing things.
Out into left center field. And thankfully left center field and not straightaway left, or that's a 3-run home run. And instead, it's an out to Alex Gordon and 2 away.
But it didn't, I don't know, I never felt like it physically took away everything. Maybe mentally, especially in Chicago, it had been 88 years and we hadn't won. We won, so everyone's like patting you on the back. So, but again, we won 90 games. It wasn't like we lost 90 games. So I just think every guy is different, but the Astros they're so young and so athletic, and they're just so much better 1 through 25 than almost every team. They won't have a problem.
Are they the most complete team in the American League?
Yes, they're the most complete team in baseball for me, 1 through 25. Starting pitching, they need a bullpen piece. I said this on Whip Around on FS1. They need someone in the bullpen to solidify the 8th and 9th inning.
I mean, they hit for power. They've got speed. They hit for average.
They play defense. They have 5 unbelievable starters.
Their shortstops made 2 errors all year.
Yeah. Which usually means you're pretty good.
I'll say.
And he's what, 23 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was commenting the other day. Brad Keller, the Royals Rule 5 22-year-old, pitched well against the Astros last weekend, and Correa was saying, you know, wow, he's only 22. He's pretty good for a 22-year-old. And he had, you know, reminded, well, you're only 23.
Yeah.
He was saying it like he's a 10-year veteran, but he plays at times like a 10-year veteran.
I was looking forward to seeing him pitch. I was hoping he was originally scheduled to pitch tomorrow, Keller. I was looking forward to seeing him. I've heard a lot of good things about him, and comes right after guys and has a little cut. Isn't afraid. I was looking forward to seeing him, but you guys decided to go with Ian Kennedy, who I'm also excited to see. I faced him a bunch, but I was really looking forward. You know, when you get teams that you start seeing young kids and that the teams or organizations are excited about, you want to see them in person.
How do you pitch to this guy, AJ?
You don't throw him in, I know that, because his arms are just so short and he's so quick to the ball. You have to try to fool him. Like Duffy made a great pitch right there to fool him, but he doesn't get fooled a lot. He can wait back on the ball. He uses the whole field, which is amazing in today's game, but you throw it down the middle and hope he hits it at somebody.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
There's not a lot of holes in his. You know, they talk about his stature, and how small he is, but the thing about him is because he's so small, it shrinks the strike zone, so he only has a small area to cover. You know, you get a 6'6" guy, he's got this huge area to cover. He's got such a small area to cover. Now that he's won an MVP, I mean, HUD, it's not supposed to happen, but you know, the strike zone might shrink up a little bit for certain times, certain umpires.
It happens in this day too.
He is something. Leading the major leagues in batting average, hits. He's had the most hits in the American League the last 4 years. That'll be out of play.
Well, about 2 weeks ago, we did the game. It was the Red Sox, Astros, and they were talking about how he was struggling. He was hitting like 325. Whoa. They're like, man, Altuve's really having a bad year this year. I'm like, 325? That would be a career year for every other person on the planet. But because of Jose Altuve and he set the bar so high, it's just a different animal.
Yeah, I watched him with his training sessions in the winter, you know, and him pushing the big tires. And, you know, a guy like him, obviously, I don't want to call it little man syndrome, but you know what? He proved that he's a big man, you know, in this game, MVP. He's done it all already. And so he's young, too, but he's trained and worked hard. That's what young people need to know. It just doesn't happen. These guys work.
And I love now with Instagram, you can see these guys working out.
Yeah, that's how I learned on what he did. And look at Duffy getting out of it.
And the Astros have stranded 3 in the last 3 innings. AJ, thank you. Great
no
to
problem.
See you,
thank you. I always love going to Kansas City. Always love seeing you guys, HUD.
Thanks,
I miss you when you were doing Jim Rome back in the day.
Well, there's time to move on.
And we salute Justin Verlander, who supports Wins for Warriors Foundation, which provides mental health support to Iraq and Afghanistan veterans and their families in Detroit, Richmond, and Norfolk. Salvador Perez is out on 1 pitch to begin the top of the 4th inning. And Justin Verlander was also one of 3 recipients of the inaugural Bob Feller Act of Valor Award, named after the Baseball Hall of Famer who left his major league career for 3 years to serve our country in World War II.
Incredible.
Fun chatting with AJ Pierzynski.
It was a blast. Yeah. Man, a lot of experience. You know what? I really meant that when I said you've been blessed to catch that many years and not have any issues.
Yeah.
That's incredible. You know, and it wasn't like anybody. I mean, that was back in the contact era where you could knock the catcher over, and he was a target for a lot of players. Amazing.
Fouled away by Dozier. And he was one of those guys that, and I mentioned it when he was here in the booth, like he could flip a switch for the game, because before the game And I was fortunate to get to know him when he first got called up to the big leagues. But you know, a lot of guys who have an edge, they're not approachable before the game either. I mean, once they put the uniform on, you know, they've already flipped the switch.
All right.
1-2 on Dozier. He was one of those guys that would get booed all the time on the road. You know, the type of player you love to have on your team, but you couldn't stand him if he was on the team you're playing against. But very insightful, very interesting to talk to. But he was a different man once the game started.
He was.
Long run for Springer, and he makes a play on the line. First base umpire Bill Welke will call it a foul ball catch, and there are 2 down. Remember, you can catch the Royals Angels makeup game on Monday for just $5 through the MLB Ballpark app. Your discounted upper level ticket must be purchased and delivered through the app. Some restrictions apply, so visit the MLB Ballpark app for details. Two down to Alex Gordon, who grounded out to short his first time up. Little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Royals done a pretty good job so far in 3 2/3 innings of elevating Keuchel. He showed you his high ground ball rate.
Yeah, he's been staying ahead for most part. Okay, Alex, there you go.
Pitch was riding in on his hands. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You call Keuchel's 2-seamer a sinker, but boy, that ball rides as much as it sinks. I mean, it's a fastball with some teeth.
And that's the one you get to foul off your leg. That's why Alex has a little pad on his shin. It's a good call for a shin protector against Keuchel if you're a left-handed batter.
Still 3 2. And Alex is on with a walk. And it is Keuchel's first. And up comes Alcides Escobar, who singled with 2 outs in the 2nd inning. Esky can really wipe the slate clean after the homestand, where he was just 2 for 28. Now he's on the road, and he's playing a completely different position in the field.
Yep, he's got new life. And he has homered off Keuchel before in the past, and that porch in left field's calling his name right now. He's wearing number 2 and definitely needs 2 runs with 2 outs.
Well, if that's the case, then I want Paulo Orlando up there, because he wears number 16 on his jersey.
Yeah, need a few more runners for that, but right here, look for a cookies. Look him up in the zone. Esky had a great at-bat, ran the count full and fouled off several pitches before he got his base hit last time up. This was one of our keys, you know, get ahead in the count. When you get ahead in the count, it's giving up a high average.
Trouble is, it's hard to get ahead in the count against Keuchel, because when he's on, he throws so many strikes.
Yeah, and so when he's ahead, the opponent average is just 214. But when the batter's ahead, they hit 466. That's what Esky's looking at here. Hopefully another pitch he can handle.
Three balls, one strike.
You know, I'd like to have had AJ up here another inning or two, just to pick his brain about the strike zone, because we started going there with Altuve. Then he mentioned the 6'6" Judge. Maybe, you know, we could have talked about how an umpire works that strike zone depending on the height of the batter. Just that, the ball scuffed, they threw it out. You know, a lot of little things like that. Interesting asset, and Esky will take the walk.
That is 15 walks for Alcides Escobar in 75 games this year, which is not a big number, but for him it is, because last year he also had 15 walks in 162 games.
Good for him. He's becoming selective.
Second time in the last 3 innings, the Royals have put 2 men on with 2 outs. Paulo Orlando single to left field in the second inning. Marisnick waits in center field, and that'll do it. The Royals have stranded 5 in the first 4 innings. No score. Out in the second.
Yeah. Now look, our keys to the game for him were not to walk. You know, he's walked a couple of guys, but look, the ballpark helped him there as Duffy was able to pitch away from the big wall. He's made some nice pitches when he's needed to, and man, all he's missing is some run support. He's looking good. He's making those pitches, and I like the velocity on his fastball. I think he's doing a nice job of commanding that pitch.
He'll get the 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the bottom of the 4th inning. Correa also led off the second, and he doubled. Then Gurriel walked. Gaddis hit it in that double play. Gonzalez struck out, and then in the 3rd inning, the Astros put 2 on with 1 out. Duffy got out of that. No balls, 2 strikes to Carlos Correa. That is the highest line drive rate against left-hand pitchers in the major leagues.
Oh, 2, and there's nobody on, but you still got to be careful with this guy with that type of line drive rate. Nah, don't give him anything too good. See if you can make him get himself out. That's maybe a fastball down low, maybe a changeup somewhere down and out of the way. He hasn't used very many breaking balls.
Challenge him at 95, and that's into the crowd. Two and two on Correa. Duffy was almost exclusively fastball changeup when he faced the Astros on Saturday, throwing more breaking balls tonight. There's another one, and it's hooked up the third base line and foul.
There it is. I mean, you know, breaking ball. I was talking with Cal Elder today about the fact that he didn't use that breaking ball. He said, you know, he just was not comfortable with it, and he didn't want to hang it against these guys. You know, he did give up a home run, but to Stassi, but still, it was the fastball changeup combination. Really, if those two pitches are on, that's all you need. 24% breaking balls tonight. So that tells you tonight he's more comfortable with it. There are some times when a pitcher goes out there and he doesn't have a certain pitch, and he's got to get by with his others. But because Duffy's fastball is above average and his changeup is an above average pitch, he was able to go as deep as he did.
Did a good job there of moving Correa's feet in the box.
And Correa could be winded a little bit as he ran all the way through first base. Let's see if he can make a pitch here.
Got him. Fastball tailing away, and Duffy has struck out 4.
Our Mo lottery replay shows exactly that. Look at the tailing action on that heater. That's not a two-seam heater. That's a four-seamer. Get that kind of velocity on it.
Ball one on Yuli Gurriel. He was on with a walk in the second inning. Two balls, no strikes. Two and one. This is an important number for Danny Duffy against a good lineup of all right-hand batters. And in his first 10 starts, righties were wearing him out, but he has corrected that over his last 5. Also giving up a lot of home runs earlier in the year to right-hand batters. Gurriel, man, that was an ugly swing. He was all mixed up with that pitch. 2-2.
It was a nice breaker. Good pitch by Duffy. He was set all over fastball, was Gurriel.
The pitch was down and hit right to Merrifield. 2 outs. Don't forget, if you can't catch a game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Just download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Royals. And now Evan Gattis, who came on with 2 on and nobody out in the second inning, and Danny Duffy got him to roll into a double play. That was the 75th double play grounded into by the Astros. That leads the major leagues, 1 more than the Royals. Salvi tried to pull it into the strike zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chopped out to Moustakas in time to get Gattis, and that's a second 1-2-3 inning for Danny Duffy. No score at the end of 4.
Royals and Astros still scoreless. Joel Goldberg back at Minute Maid Park. Our University of Kansas Health System update on Chesler Cuthbert. He has been performing baseball activities, baseball skills, meaning hitting, running, throwing. This is what head trainer Nick Kenny told me. Doing portions of that over the last 10 days, but now doing all of it back-to-back days, multiple days. Nick saying that if all goes well, he'll get back into game action in the next 5 to 7 days. So that's when you're talking about maybe a rehab assignment. Update on a couple of other guys real quick. Lucas Duda tonight is 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs in his rehab assignment for Omaha. And Jorge Bonifacio, as he's getting near the end of that suspension, 1 for 1 with a run and a walk. He's batting .412 for Omaha with an OPS, so well over 1,000.
Yeah.
Good to get him back in the lineup.
Like to hear that, Joel.
Mondesi struck out to end the second inning. And now down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Royals have had 5 base runners in the first 4 innings against Keuchel, 3 singles and 2 walks. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Speaking of players doing well in the minor leagues, Nicky Lopez, who was impressive in spring training this year, at Tulsa last night, hit for the cycle for AA Northwest Arkansas. 5 out of 6 with 2 RBIs, 4 runs scored.
Yeah, the natural cycle.
For the Naturals.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Meaning he did it in order.
I mean,
single, then a double, then a triple, then a home run.
That's excellent.
And then another hit.
Yeah, he got 5. Well, you know, I got to watch him play a couple of games in the minors this spring. And, you know, we're not there very long, but I spent a couple of days down there. And, you know, he plays with energy. You know, we're talking about energy with Herrera up here and Mondesi back in the lineup. He's got tremendous energy, and he's an excellent fielder and hitter. I believe he's going to be a big leaguer one of these days. Keuchel's got it moving. It's all about the movement that really can baffle the hitter the most. Change of speeds, you know, is a lot, but that late breaking movement, tailing down and in, away, can allow the hitter to miss-hit it.
Witt thought that that pitch was a little bit outside, and it did appear to be out of the strike zone box. Witt singled off of Keuchel's left knee in the first inning to open the game. And he's also flied out to right. Well, it's been a struggle for the Royals. They've lost 9 in a row. They've lost 15 of their last 16 games. But the most painful thing for the Royals right now, I believe, is that Jorge Bonifacio, Cheslor Cuthbert, and Jorge Soler are not playing in the major leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, that was goal number 1 going into spring training, trying to get each of those 3 guys 500 or more at bats. Still no balls, 2 strikes.
I know, you know, it's just hard to predict. The season is unbelievable. You know, people wanting to know before the season, well, how many wins are the Royals going to have? You know, you just can't predict a baseball season. You don't know. I mean, it's so long, but this injuries, you know, a part of it. You know, good starts. Guy gets confident from the very beginning. He goes and has a career year, but you just never know when any of that stuff's going to happen.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Keuchel. 2 down in the 5th inning. Join fellow country music fans at the Royals' first ever country music night on Friday, July 6th. Purchase a themed ticket to receive an exclusive Royals cowboy hat and enjoy country music played at the K as the Royals host the Red Sox. And then don't miss summer fireworks after the game featuring all country music hits.
Nice, that'll be fun.
That's to the gap in left center field. And how far will Herrera go? He will hold at second base. He is 1 for 3. And for Rosell Herrera, that is his first major league double.
We saw his triple at the K, and there was an 87-mile-an-hour cutter right down the middle, and he tagged it. Look at now, he's becoming a base runner now. Love that. He puts the bat down, he takes off. He thought about third, but I think that's pretty smart, especially with Correa's arm and his defensive ability to throw. So he says, you know, I'm in scoring position. So that's good enough here for Moose. Good stroke. I like him hitting the second hole. Short, compact swing. And he can run.
Strike to Mike Moustakas, who is grounded out to second and lined to first. And now it's 0-2. Moustakas' numbers are down in June, and you could chalk some of that up to bad luck. He has the most batted balls for outs with a 50% hit probability or higher. That goes by exit velocity and launch angle. So the advanced numbers, the science behind the advanced numbers, have calculated certain launch angles and certain exit velocities. You have a better than 50% chance of getting a hit just by the percentages. And Mike Moustakas has the most outs with those percentages.
Yeah, and that's buzzard luck. I don't know if they have a statistic for buzzard luck, but they should.
That's your BL plus.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I'm happy they can put that in a stat now, and a player could go to the team and say, hey, look, here's what I'm doing. I'm hitting the ball hard. Look at here's the numbers to back it now. Instead of just saying, oh, I'm hitting hard, have no luck. Now we have numbers. Ooh. Good break the ball.
Keuchel has struck out 5, including all 3 of his outs in the 5th inning. Still no score. Start for Alcides Escobar in center field. And so far the ball has been hit to him once. It's also the first major league start at shortstop for Adalberto Mondesi.
Yep, and both have been in the action. You know, when you're in the middle of the diamond, you're going to get some kind of action. That's usually where your best athletes are, right in the middle.
Two hops out to Moustakas, and he'll throw out Marwin Gonzalez. Danny Duffy has allowed one hit in 4 1/3 innings. He has walked 2, and he's also hit a batter. You can enjoy a double play of savings with the new Summer Fun Pack from the Royals and Worlds of Fun. Pick any Royals game and also get a Worlds of Fun ticket, all at a discount. To learn more, visit royals.com/summerfun. Max Stassi takes a strike. He had the big hit against Danny Duffy last Saturday at Kauffman Stadium. That was a 3-run home run in the 6th inning. And when he hit that home run, it was 4-2 Houston, and then suddenly it was 10-2. Or rather, it was 7-2, and the Astros went on to win 10-2. You get all that straight?
No, I remember it, and it was like oh man, we were going to come back in that one and beat them. So could you play the best you want to beat them? This has been a well-pitched ball game so far here, and you know we documented how the Royals played better here. They got a good winning record here in this ballpark, and that losing has got to end. They need a victory for morale in the worst way.
Close. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Stassi. Duffy has struck out 4. Still 2-2.
Okay, let's see Duffy. See the changeup in the last game. The changeup was just floated. It was up and elevated, and when those are up, they're slowed down by about 10 miles an hour from the fastball, and it speeds the batter up. Now you got to credit the hitter for hitting it out for sure, but it's a little bit easier to pitch to hit. There was one right there, and he got it.
Number 5 for Duffy, and 2 down in the 5th inning.
How about that? We just showed you the one he hit out, and then he throws the identical same pitch. It's Stassi. You got to go. Nice job, Danny.
And now Jake Marisnick. Duffy hit him with a pitch back in the 3rd inning. One ball, 1 strike. Remember last year the Royals opened in Minnesota and they got swept. Then they came to Houston and they won the first 2 games, and they were on their way to a sweep, and Jake Marisnick hooked a ball just inside the foul pole and just over the wall 315 feet away against Kelvin Herrera. Royals were that close to sweeping the Astros here.
I remember that. I think it was a pinch hit, if I'm not mistaken. Came off the bench. I may be wrong, but it's a heartbreaker. It's a fly ball. It looked like a routine fly ball. Look at Duffy.
It is a pitcher strike zone tonight. Tony Randazzo is back at the plate. Duffy has struck out 6, and he has set down the last 8 Astros. is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. No score. Danny Duffy and Dallas Keuchel. And we begin the 6th inning. Duffy has struck out 6. Keuchel has struck out 5. It'll be Salvador Perez leading off our Sonic Slam inning. Salvi swung at the first pitch last time up and flied to left. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Our contestant is Pam Milosevic from Lee Summit. Beautiful Lee Summit.
Yes, it is.
The Royals hit a home run out of the park. Pat will win $2,700. The Royals hit a grand slam out of the park. Pat wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. Pat Milosevic.
Like to see at least a solo homer or any kind of homer. Be good.
Correa goes out from short. Gonzalez right behind him, avoiding a collision. 1 down.
Yep. Shortstop goes back all the way. Doesn't say a word until he hears the outfielder. And here he comes. And he wasn't sure either if Correa was going to get out of the way. Barely caught it.
Hunter Dozier has flied to right and fouled out to right. Keuchel's ERA wasn't bad coming in, 4.15. His record is 4-8. Interesting. Look at him, kind of back and forth. 20-8 and 15. He won the Cy Young. 9-12 the year after that. Then he bounced back last year, 14-5. In the good years, his ERA is under 3. In the, I don't know if you want to call that a bad year when your ERA is 4.55, or this year 4.15. And he's kind of alternated between really good and average.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like a hitter that has a year's good year, bad, not so good. It's kind of like that. I mean, this is tough business up here. It's hard to be on top of your game every single year. Now Keuchel, I was talking with Brett Strom, his pitching coach, today about him, and he said, he's been the man here the last several years. Now he's got other help. He's got all these other great pitchers. He's got Garrett Cole. He's got Verlander, McCullers, Morton. He's not the guy now, and he's okay with that. But he's gone through stages. And there's a chase. That's what he's used to when he's had his good years. Hitters were chasing his pitches. And this year's not getting a lot of run support, believe it or not. But this team, when he's pitched, so sometimes there's certain variations and reasons why.
Brent Strom was a Royals pitching coach. And he came into contact with A.J. Hinch during that time. When he was pitching coach, that was the time when the Royals traded Johnny Damon to the Oakland A's, and A.J. Hinch was one of the players coming over to Kansas City. A.J. also got to know Rich Dower when he was with the Royals, and Richie was his third base coach and then retired at the end of last season. Alex pulls it past Altuve and into right field. And that is the 4th time in the last 5 innings that the Royals have tried to start a rally here with 2 down and nobody on.
Yeah, let's see if they can get that elusive 2-out knock. Good try by Altuve. Good for Alex for it to get underneath. Now going back to Strom a little bit, he's an old school pitching coach and also player, and has evolved into the new school of numbers and stuff. Because I asked him about that. How does he incorporate it with his pitchers? And he's talking mainly about his starters, and he said,
Escobar into the corner. It is off the wall. Alex Gordon to third. Mike Jershely is going to hold him. And Alex got under the tag. And Alex, interesting, he was raising his left hand in the air. I think he was assuming that he was going to be called out and felt like he was safe, but the call was safe from Adam Hammery, the third base umpire.
too bad Eski's drive didn't get up another 10 feet, because that ball would have been out. Put out a sign there, but it was hit hard. And see if Alex can get back underneath there. Oh, look at Bregman. He was deked. Bregman thought he was going to tag him up hot top, and Alex put a little Olay slide on him. Nice job. Keep this alive here. Now they've got to do something. Get a run home here. Good drive by Eski, second hit of the night for him.
Well, his on-base percentage as a center fielder is perfect. 1,000. With a single, a walk, and now a double. Paulo Orlando is 1 for 2 with a single. The Royals have stranded 6 in the first 5 innings against Keuchel. Five of their 6 hits tonight have come after 2 outs and nobody on.
Anyway, getting back to my conversation with Strom about the new sabermetrics and things. He goes, well, some of the guys like them, some don't. You just got to get to know your pitchers. Like Verlander, Verlander's really into details. He wants to know when the anthem is going to be sung, the minute it's going to be sung. He's very detail oriented when he's out there warming up in the bullpen. He said some guys, you just show them what the opponents have done against them. That's all they want to know. They don't want to know anymore. And it just all depends on the player. So he has all the information that's out there available to him, but he doesn't force it down on him. He just says, here it is. If you want to see it, great. If you don't, go.
Bregman makes a running play on the soft liner. So the Royals have had chances, and now they've stranded 8 in the first 6 innings tonight. Still no score. Squares off with Tunisia at 6 a.m. Then it's a pair of games in the group of death as Korea takes on Mexico and Germany faces Sweden. It's all tomorrow on Fox, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Group of death.
Yes.
Sounds like something from the Roman Colosseum.
Yeah. Soccer players are a little more friendly. There's A.J. Hinch having a little chat with his starter.
Brad Peacock is still warming up in the bullpen.
Communication. That's the manager's #1 thing.
Danny Duffy has set down the last 8. And now Keuchel's getting hugs and pats on the back. So that's the obvious sign that he's done. Two and one on George Springer. He has struck out and he has walked. The Astros have 1 hit in the first 5 innings against Danny Duffy. And that was a leadoff double that Duffy worked around. And now it's 2 and 2 on Springer.
Duffy's just doing a nice job of commanding all of his pitches. It's not just one pitch. He's bringing all 3 of them in. Remember last start he didn't use very many breaking balls. He only used like 12% of his breakers. And tonight everything's working for him.
Slice to right. And Herrera reaches in. And I don't know if it hit a fan or just bounce out of his glove, but no interference if he's reaching into the crowd. And Springer is still alive.
Too bad. Man, he got to the ball in plenty of time. Okay, let's see what happened. Oh, you know what? The fan touched his glove. They could give him interference on that.
Not when you reach into their territory.
Okay, but he had it. Good try. Look, he's trying to get Escobar's attention. Come on over here, Esky. Now, he's the senior that has priority over Esky, even though he's the young player. Esky's the rookie center fielder tonight.
He has handled 1 ball so far. That was a fly ball from Max Stassi in the 3rd inning. Springer takes a leadoff walk. That's his 2nd walk. And it is Duffy's 3rd.
Celebrate one of the most dynamic players in Royals history with the Bo Jackson Flex Plan. This plan gives you the ultimate flexibility with 16 ticket vouchers to use during the remainder of the season. Download the MLB Ballpark app to pick and choose which remaining games you want to attend. More information on the Bo Jackson Flex Plan at royals.com/Bo.
Alex Bregman with a runner at first base, nobody out. Changeup called a strike. Bregman with 2 on and 1 out in the 3rd inning. Hit a fly ball just to the right of the Crawford boxes. That short porch in left field. Hit it in that little alcove in left center field. If he had hooked it just a little more, it would have been a 3-run home run. Now a slider's in for a strike, and it's 0-2.
It's about time the Royals get a little luck going their way. He caught it over here, so you're right. That would have been a goner.
Still no balls, 2 strikes. Duffy has walked 3 and he's hit a batter, so he's given the Astros 4 runners. But Houston only has 1 hit, and Danny has struck out 6. A little bit outside. It's been a pitcher-friendly strike zone so far, presented by home plate umpire Tony Randazzo. 20-year big league umpire and former college baseball player at Iowa Western Community College.
There you go.
Back into the crowd. Big crowd here tonight. And the Astros are feeling the positive effects of winning a world championship. Last year, the Astros were 15th in the major leagues in attendance. And coming into tonight, 7th in the major leagues in attendance.
Well, why not? You got a ball club like this, you want to come see him.
That got Salvi. That ball rolled all the way up the first base line to Hunter Dozier. That hit him solid. Also, it was a foul ball and it hit Salvi right on the top of the left knee. Fouled off the knob of the bat.
Couple of catchers there talking about how that feels. Vance Wilson, he took his share of those, and I'm sure Drew has as well.
That is Salvi's injured left knee. We had that tear right before opening day, placing him on the disabled list to begin the season. So 1-2 on Bregman. And Duffy strikes him out for a second time, and that is 7 strikeouts for Danny Duffy tonight.
Outstanding. Duffy using all 4 quadrants of the strike zone, and he's getting away with that heater up top, man. It's nice to see it. You pitch against the best offensive team and most well-balanced offense, and you're doing this kind of work to them. Ah, it's a beautiful thing. And you would hope to get some run support. This is the kind of outing the Royals are looking for to break this losing streak they've been on, and gosh, played some runs. They can get in the Astros bullpen. This Keuchel's done.
Jose Altuve has flied out to right field and grounded out to short. One and one. Brad Peacock was warming up as the Royals were trying to put together a 2-out rally in the 6th inning, and now he's ready. Or excuse me, Chris Davinsky is throwing now. Brad Peacock was throwing in the top of the 6th inning, so it'll be Davinsky in the top of the 7th. 1-2. Back to the middle and into center field. Springer will stop at second base, and that is just the 2nd hit for the Astros against Duffy. And for Jose Altuve, his major league leading 106th hit.
I'm glad Duffy got out of the way of that one. That was an outside pitch, and he just spanked it. Good, short, compact swing. Whew. Too close for comfort. Eski gets his first ground ball in center.
And now the Royals will get Kevin McCarthy going in the left field bullpen. Duffy's at 95 pitches, 2 on, 1 out. Duffy already has a ground ball double play tonight, and the Astros have hit into the most double plays in the major leagues. And that's the pitch Duffy wanted Correa to chase. Correa doubled leading off the second inning. He did not score, and then Duffy struck him out with a fastball in the fourth. Here's his 20th pitch of the inning. Slow breaking ball. No balls, 2 strikes. It's just the second inning where Duffy's had 20 or more pitches tonight.
Okay, but look, he's battling one of the best offensive teams in the world right now. He's doing a great job. 55% fastballs, 34% breakers, and 12% changeups. How about that? The changeups and breaking balls flopped from last time to this time. The percentages were the opposite. So there we go. He's doing an excellent job of keeping them guessing. Correa has grounded into 11 of those ground ball double plays you're talking about.
One and two. So they hit into a lot of double plays. They also lead the league hitting with runners in scoring position. 0 for 4 so far tonight, but coming into tonight batting .287 with a runner in scoring position. Challenged him. Duffy is still throwing 96 as he's right at 100 pitches.
Sometimes you got to take your chances. Correa's a .265 hitter with a runner in scoring position, and Gurriel on deck is a .463, the best in the business. So they can execute a pitch down here and roll him over. 6-4-3.
That did not hit Correa. So the runners move up. Now Tuve wasn't sure. Now he's coming over from first base, but Springer, the runner at second, got a really good look at it, so he took off. And I think Correa was already saying ouch when that ball went sailing by him.
I agree with you. It looked like it got him. Duffy coming high and tight. Woo! There's some chin music there. Salvi did his best to catch it. So take the double play out of the equation. Duffy's looking for a strikeout. Or pop him up or a little ground ball to somebody who's in on Ned's infield. They're all in on the grass.
Changeup squirted out of his hand. 3 balls, 2 strikes. This very well could be Duffy's last hitter. Bases loaded, 1 out for Yuli Gurriel. Duffy has walked 2 in the inning and 4 in the game. And here comes Ned.
Gurriel, he's hitting .293 off of righties and .315 off of lefties. He's good no matter what arm the ball's being thrown from.
Reading Ned's lips, you okay? All right, we're going to get a ground ball.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you Ned's biggest concern was just how badly Duffy missed with those last 3 pitches to Correa. I mean, threw a fastball to the screen, and then a changeup and a breaking ball were very high.
Well, I could read Ned's lips. He was talking about a ground ball. Come on, let's get this guy out here. We got to get him ground ball because he knows Gurriel's ground into a team-leading 12. So that's what he's saying. He's counting on Duffy to do it. And this is good. This is good for Duffy. And the rest of those players that came in, for a manager to show confidence in you like that, this is his game. He's holding down the world champions here in the 6th inning. There it is.
Ground ball to Moustakas. He steps on the bag, throws to first, and Duffy gets the double play.
Yes, and Duffy showing some emotion as he's walking off the dirt. That's exactly what his manager asked him to do. To do that, that's a beautiful thing. Now get him some runs and a win.
For the Astros, both will go 6 tonight. Duffy gives up 2 hits. Keuchel 6. The Royals have stranded 8 in the first 6 against Keuchel. And the Royals defense has come up big for Danny Duffy. They have turned 2 double plays. Duffy strikes out 7. He works around 4 walks and a hit batter. And now the Royals are into the Astros bullpen in a Chevy call to the bullpen. It's Chris Davinsky in his 1.57 ERA.
Yeah, 1.92 opponent average in his 31st game. He's tough. 7 walks, 35 strikeouts. He look for that fastball. Look for the heater. That's the pitch you have the best chance to hit. His curveball is a big one, and his changeup is one of the best in the business. He really sells it well. Duffy, what a battle tonight. He's doing such a nice job out there. He's pitching.
Mondesi, a tough hop for Gurriel, but he handles it and goes to the bag. Mondesi is 0 for 3. The 2018 Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot is now open and exclusively online. Make sure your favorite Royals are represented on this year's squad by voting at Royals.com/vote, and then catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard, July 17th, live on Fox. And the slider is outside. Ball 1 on Whit Merrifield, who is 1 for 3 with an infield single. Speaking of the All-Star game, that man right there, Jose Altuve, has the most votes in the major leagues right now, coming up on 1.6 million. There's the changeup. We were just talking about the World Cup and the group of death.
Right.
Well, Chris Davinsky's changeup has been referred to the circle of death.
Well, that's a little more understandable. I just don't understand the other soccer term they were using for that. But I know this morning I was able to wake up and watch some live soccer. It was good. Just get on the road, you know, no family and no responsibilities at home. It's nice to see it.
No swing, and it's 3-2 on Witt. Stayed back on the changeup, and Merrifield fouled it away. The Astros love Devo, so Hud whip it and whip it good. Is it Devo hat getaway night?
You know.
For our younger audience, just Google it.
Yeah,
you know what we're talking about.
I didn't really catch the promos for the Astros. I know we have Country Western night coming up, and we won't see any hats like those in our house.
That whole section down there has fans wearing the Devo hats for Chris Davinsky, nicknamed Devo. I can count, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Devo hats in that section alone.
Yeah, I saw the guy passing them out just the last inning. So they just made an appearance when Davinsky made an appearance. Makes sense.
Whoa, I didn't even see that row.
Oh, wow. Well, they look like they have.
Well, they're all over the place now that
there's some kind of something in the hat. I don't think it's just a shell. It's got to be a size deal in there that they can wear, put them on their head and they'll stay.
There's mink on the inside of them.
Yes, that's what I was wondering. Gotta have something in there. Whitley's battling. I like it. He's battling tough. They get him on base. There's a guy with some good wheels. Not going to take much in tonight's game. Just choked up a ½ inch, just battling. Hit it where it's pitched.
Called third strike. Well, I've been saying all night that for both sides it's been a pitcher-friendly strike zone. 2 down in the 7th inning.
Well, it looked like it just caught part of the top of the zone there. Good spot by Davinsky. You know, in game 2 in the Astros series back at the K, Davinsky came in to pitch and it was a 10-2 lead they had. It was like an obvious, maybe a situation where he can get some work in. Fizz was doing the game. And so Fizz asked me, was he getting work in or what's the deal was? And I go, well, you know what? Most of these guys, they're not coming in to get work in. They're coming to compete and to add to their numbers. They're competitors. So the next day I went in and asked Davinsky, I said, hey, when you were out there last night, were you getting work in? Why were you in there? And he says, I was in there to stick it up there behind. I was in there to pitch and do well. Well, you guys already had a big league. He goes, I don't care. I'm in there to pitch. When I get called in to pitch, I want to pitch and I want to dominate. That's exactly the word he used. And I said, okay, sorry I bothered you. No, he's a good guy. But he's not in the game to get work. So he's a competitor. That's the kind of, you know, that's why his name's the Dragon. He's a deep breather. You know, he's one of those guys. You know, you can kind of tell his body language. It's a little bit nasty.
There's that good changeup. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Herrera.
The way he walks around. See, he sells it with his arm speed. That's why that pitch is so good. It's not that it has this tremendous movement, but he falls hard to the left down the first base side, and it works.
Royals go down in order. It is stretch time in Houston with no score. set to chat with Danny Duffy, who had walked 2 to load the bases with 1 out in the 6th inning, and Ed Yost left him in there to face Yuli Gurriel, who grounded into an inning-ending double play. Here's Danny's Pizza Ranch for the win pitching line. He allowed just 2 hits over 6 innings. The Astros stranded 5, and Duffy had 2 ground ball double plays.
Yeah, outstanding competitive game for Duffy, especially for Ned to leave him in like that and for him to answer his boss with that, get him out of the inning. Now it's over to McCarthy. McCarthy's done a good job. He's been very reliable this year. 3.73 ERA, 19 strikeouts. He's not really a strikeout pitcher. Doesn't matter. Keeps the ball in the yard. He's a sinker baller, ground ball expert. Hard sinker, slider, curve, change. But for Duffy, you hold the world champs down to just 2 hits, man, you've had a night in their house, and it's packed. We haven't had a lot to cheer about tonight, and we don't want them to.
Gaddis is out in front. 1 ball, 1 strike. He grounded into the first double play behind Danny Duffy. That was with 2 on and nobody out in the 2nd inning. That was a swing. That's the crew chief, Bill Welke, over at first base. Gaddis, then Marwin Gonzalez and Max Stassi. 2 balls, 2 strikes. McCarthy last pitched the 9th inning on Wednesday. Wasn't his best outing. He walked a couple, but he got out of it. Got that pitch in on Gaddis. Has the most RBIs in the major leagues this month. 23 RBIs in June. 21 of those have been in his last 14 games, including 5 last weekend in Kansas City. Had to play again. Three and 2.
Gaddis, you know, he's just big guy. 6'4", 250, 260. They don't, no batting gloves. You know, he just looks like a man up there. Look at him like a lumberjack. Watch it. He make a pitch on him here. Yeah. Purchase 20 or more tickets for a single game and receive a 20% discount. Group tickets are available for all home games, and groups of 20 or more can save big. Suites and party areas are also available on a nightly basis, so plan your company event or get together with friends or co-workers today. Email groupsales@royals.com to start planning your next big event.
Here's Marwin Gonzalez, who is 0 for 2. The Astros, when they swept the Royals last weekend, did many things well. They pitched well, especially their starting rotation, but they really poured it on in the later innings. And all 3 games for the first 6 innings or so were competitive innings until we got into the later innings. 2 balls and no strikes on Gonzalez. That bottom line there, from the 6th inning on, the Astros outscored the Royals 15-0. They scored 8 runs in the 8th and 9th innings of that series. Good spot, 2 balls and 1 strike. Gonzalez not happy with the strike zone.
This has been a pitcher's zone all night. Keeps the game moving. That's if the commissioner is concerned about length of games, that's the remedy right there. Open up the zone. And look how many hitters hit balls 95+ exit velo on pitches 3-4 inches outside and inside and up and down. But that's going to be a little battle they'll have to wage if they're going to do that.
'29 double plays for the Royals bullpen, the most in the American League. Only the Diamondbacks and Rockies bullpens have more ground ball double plays. Brian Flynn all by himself has 9.
It's amazing.
Instead, it's back-to-back walks. So some of that is on the Royals. Duffy walked 4. Now McCarthy 2. So that's 6 walks in 6+ innings. But the Astros are a pretty patient team. They have the highest on-base percentage in the American League. Tim Hill warms up. Max Stassi is the scheduled hitter. He is a right-hand batter. And now Tony Kemp is going to come out and hit for Stassi. He may be asked to swing the bat. He may be asked to drop down a bunt. He has 3 sacrifice bunts this year.
You would imagine probably the latter would be true here, and that's to bunt. He's a guy who can swing the bat too. This will be his first opportunity as a pinch hitter for A.J. Hinch this year, but he can do all the little things and big things.
The Royals believe he's going to bunt with Moustakas and Dozier in on the corners.
So in that case, belt-high fastballs would be the remedy.
Not bunting, and he takes a strike.
Fastballs are the hardest pitch to get down. Kemp has even grounded into 5 double plays this year. He hadn't played all that much.
Ground ball out to Merrifield. The play is at third. That is an alert baseball play by Whit Merrifield, who probably would have loved to try and turn a double play, but he realized there was 1 out, and he threw it across the diamond to get the force at third.
And, you know, you talk about him being a baseball player, which is a compliment. He is a player, but he's heady. Okay, look, he's thinking about it for a second. He goes, we can't double up Kemp. He runs too well. I'll just rely on my cannon for an arm, and I'll get it all the way to Moose, and we'll get the force there. He knew Gaddis was running, didn't have that great a speed. That's just a winning ball player is what he is.
And, you know, recognizing Kemp's speed, you know, no chance for a double play, and also recognizing Gaddis's lack of speed. And now A.J. Hinch is going to send Tyler White to the plate with runners at first and second and 1 out. I don't know if I've ever written down 4 or 5 before. So Tyler White for Jake Marisnick, right-hand batter for a right-hand batter.
White's 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter.
Nice backhand stop by Salvi. He's had a lot more success than Tony Kemp as a pinch hitter, batting .389. One and one.
You know, this young man, White, he had 250 at bats in 2016. He had some playing time last year. He only got 61 at bats. Obviously, A.J. Hinch has a lot of faith in him.
Kickoff play at second base. He was quite a sensation the first week of 2016. He had an Astros record, 9 hits in his first 4 games. Tied an Astros record with 7 RBIs in his first 4 games. He was the American League Player of the Week, but by June he was back in AAA.
I remember.
Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Tyler White is out of Western Carolina, the same college program that produced Greg Holland. Grounded foul, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Double play that Gurriel hit into last inning with the bases loaded, 1 out was the 76th by the Astros this year, the most in the major leagues. The Astros and Royals were tied for most ground ball double plays when the game began.
McCarthy has that hard sinker. He'd love it.
Grounded to Moustakas, who thought about trying to tag the runner, and the result, no outs.
Yeah, well, I got what he was trying to do. He was hoping that the timing was good where he could tag the runner, Gonzalez, but by that time, White gets down the line, and it's too late to get it out.
It is not an error. It is not a base hit. It's just ruled a fielder's choice. So for the second time in the last 2 innings, Houston has the bases loaded with 1 out.
You know, I mean, there's been some amazing double plays against the Astros in this game here. I mean, but can you really count on that every time? I mean, it's getting a little dicey now. This guy, he's grounded into 8, Springer has, and it could happen here.
1 ball, 1 strike.
I hope it does.
Springer struck out in the first inning against Duffy, and then Duffy walked him in the 3rd and 6th. A little bit high. So 4 grand slams for Springer. 1 against the Royals. That was against Edinson Volquez. Remember, Springer had a triple and a grand slam in the same inning. The year before, Volquez broke his wrist with a pitch. Out to Merrifield. Out at second. Double play again. 3 double plays turned by the Royals tonight in 7 innings.
Wow. McCarthy, get her done. Roll him up. Now get some runs.
No score at the end of 7 on the Royals side, thanks in large part to 3 ground ball double plays.
Yeah, now that inside out swing there is what did it. Mitley, 2 hopper, got it over to Mondesi. First time they've worked together. That's nice. Got him by plenty. I mean, I just didn't know how many times you can go to the well with double plays, but the fortune is smiling on the Royals tonight. They just get a little lead here and let Ned uses whoever he's going to close with. Hasn't had a closing situation since Herrera's trade.
Hector Rondon pitches the 8th inning. He'll get Moustakas, Perez, and Dozier.
He's got a hard cut fastball, 92 to 96, slider, changeup, pretty good one. Hard breaking slider.
And all that has added up to a 1.67 ERA. The Astros have the best starters ERA in the major leagues and the second best bullpen ERA in the major leagues. No other team is ranked in the top 5 with both their starters and their bullpen's ERA. 2-1 on Moustakas.
He's only given up 1 homer. Rondon, that was to a right-handed batter. Let's just make it 2 here. Even it out with a left-handed batter.
Up into the rafters. And Bregman is there for the out. Time for our sprint trivia question. Name the last 5 World Series MVPs from American League teams. That is not one of them. Nice try, fellas. That is George Springer was the World Series MVP for the Astros last year. Jose Altuve was the league MVP. So there you go. There's 2 of the 5. Strike to Salvador Perez. Boston Red Sox won the World Series in 2013. Do you recall the World Series MVP?
Big Poppy.
Salvi hits it to the gap, and that's going to go to the wall.
Better go.
Gonna have to hurry. He is just in there in front of the tag of Jose Altuve. Those 2 go back to Little League in Valencia, Venezuela.
He mashed this one. Looked like a slider that just stayed up, and he's able to go with it and pull it right down that in the gap there. And hustle. That's a hustle double.
Big Poppy was correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay, so
Who won the World Series in the year before that?
2012 was the Giants. 2011 was the Cardinals. Right? 2010 was the Giants. 2009 was the Yankees, if memory serves. Oh, 2 on Dozier. He has flied to right twice and struck out. Still 0-2.
That was the one. Shorten it up, get a base hit. That's what you want. That was a good pitch for him. Springer's out in right field. He's got 4 outfield assists. He's got a good arm. Gonzalez, he's got 1. Kemp's in center field. Don't worry about him. But Salvi is running. You'll have to It'll have to be a clean off the wall or in left field for sure to be able to score him.
Did he go? He did. Two outs in the 8th inning.
The slider is 84 to 86, so it's a pretty hard slider. It's good cutting action on his fastball. They're not going to mess with Alex Gordon. They're going to stay with Escobar, and Esky might just beat him. He's had a night. They're going with the odds. Right on right.
He has not faced Hector Rondon. Fastball. It has been more of a wide strike zone than a tall strike zone.
Yeah, and by this time of the game, the hitters that are all going up there, both teams should know that. So if 2 strikes, you know, you get 2 strikes on you, you just better be aggressive and widen up your zone a little bit, stretch your strike zone. If you're a hitter, Esky can put the ball in play.
One ball, 1 strike. Now they're both from Venezuela, so maybe they've seen each other in winter ball or in a spring training game or maybe in the minor leagues, but this is the first matchup at the big league level. With 1 out, Salvador Perez doubled with 2 down. Alex Gordon was intentionally walked. Royals have stranded 8 so far tonight. 2 balls, 1 strike. We had A.J. Pierzynski up here a few innings ago. He'll be doing the game tomorrow on Fox with Kevin Burkhardt and David Cohn. And I asked him if the Astros are the most balanced team in the American League. He said it's the most balanced team in the major leagues, and they're just one, in his mind, 1 bullpen piece away. That's all they need. 3-1.
Okay, you know what? That's giving them high regards.
That's a team that already has the 2nd lowest bullpen ERA in the major leagues. But as we learned in the playoffs, the rules are different. If your starter is struggling in the 4th inning, he's out of there. So you can't have enough good relievers in the postseason.
That's exactly right. Rondon, he's expecting Esky to swing. You know, he knows he's hot. And he's supposed to chase, but he hasn't. 3-1 here. If it's close, Esky's hot now all of a sudden. He's a new hitter. He's a center fielder. And he walked again.
2 walks in the game for Alcides Escobar.
Shocked the house.
He has been on base all 4 times. And now it comes to Rondon and Paulo Orlando. And Paulo had a run scoring chance in the 6th inning and lined out to the 3rd baseman Bregman.
So he is due.
So anyway, our trivia question, Hud, we have George Springer from last year, Salvador Perez from 3 years ago, David Ortiz from the 2013 Red Sox. So 2 more, and that would be the 2009 Yankees and the 2005 White Sox. If I have my American League World Series champions lined up.
Thank you for doing that.
Nope, I skipped over the 07 Red Sox. Then it was the 05 White Sox. 0-1 on Paulo Orlando. Paulo has that line out to third. He has also flied to center and singled to left.
Yeah, that's a good swing. He wanted that 97. He knows first pitch when they're loaded up. Lots of pitchers like to get that first one in there, and he just couldn't make some contact. Anything now at this point. Got to capitalize here.
Oh, 0-2. Good spot. I mean, he swings and misses, but that was just perfect location. If you're going to go up and in the strike zone, that's where you want to go.
Yeah, the first one was down and away, 97. So little contrasting parts of the plate.
McCann blocks it. One ball, 2 strikes. Salvador Perez is the runner at third. Almost hit him. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Anything. Royals looking for a hero to end this 9-game losing streak.
Time had been called, but Rondon didn't notice.
Maybe that rattled him a little.
That'll be back into the crowd. Royals have had 11 base runners tonight. No runs yet. The Astros have had 10 base runners and no runs tonight. Foul back and out of play. Three and two. So Paulo has battled back from no balls, 2 strikes. Perez doubled, and then with 2 outs, Gordon and Escobar walked. Ryan McCann goes out and has a quick word with Rondon before this 3-2 pitch.
3 walks. Paulo has 75 at-bats coming into this game. But he's more of a swinger. Let's see if he can get one he likes. Ball 4, base hit.
Runners go. And he got him to chase one out of the strike zone. And Astros Astros pitchers have stranded 11 tonight in 8 innings.
Ryan and Jennifer Ramshaw is up here getting through some treatment of a bone marrow transplant. We're really happy for him, and he's so thrilled to be here. There you go.
Still no score as the Astros come up in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Justin Grimm will get Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, and Carlos Correa. Big items tonight. Runners left on base. The two teams have combined to strand 18. The Royals have stranded 11. The Astros 7. That number isn't as big because the Royals have turned 3 double plays twice in each of the last 2 innings with the bases loaded and 1 out. Breaking ball's in for a strike to Bregman. He has 2 strikeouts and he has flied out to left center field. He's reached base safely in a career high 31 straight games. It's the second longest in the major leagues to a guy we just saw, Shin-Soo Choo of the Rangers. Right field, well hit. Herrera is back. He's got it! Rosell Herrera took a home run away from Alex Bregman.
He takes excellent roots in what little we've seen of him, and he looks like a natural to me. I mean, that's a tough one. That was a line drive, and he goes right to it. Yeah. A little crash into the wall, no big deal. That's a highlight tape. And tip your cap, and Bergman does that too. Didn't want to, but look at him. He's fired up. Talk about energy. That is a game-saving catch. But potentially, it's great to see him. He was bebopping in that dugout today. He's the happiest camper that there is. He's so thrilled to get an opportunity to play here in Kansas City.
And now Grimm has to take that and run with it as he pitches to Jose Altuve, who is 1 for 3 with a single. Carlos Correa is on deck. Royals defense has been huge tonight. 3 ground ball double plays, and now Herrera taking a home run away from Bregman in a scoreless tie in the bottom of the 8th inning. Two balls, 1 strike. The Astros had 2 on, nobody out in the second against Duffy, and Danny got a double play and a strikeout. 2 on, 1 out in the third and didn't score. Bases loaded, 1 out in the sixth. Duffy got a ground ball double play. Bases loaded, 1 out in the seventh, and McCarthy got a ground ball double play. Two and two. Two-Face swung so hard his helmet came off.
Yeah, he did. Grimm's got the hard fastball, hard curve, changeup. Now's the breaker there. And look at how Altuve pulled his head off of it. It fooled him. He looked like he was looking heater all the way.
Laid off that one. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Salvi wants the curveball. He wanted Grimm to shake off 2 times. And Altuve did not go. All right. We're being pressed to solve our trivia question here, Led. Okay. Last 5 World Series MVPs from the American League. We have George Springer, Salvador Perez, David Ortiz, and now the 2009 Yankees, 2007 Red Sox, and if we're feeling hot, we can stretch it to the 2005 White Sox. So the 2009 Yankees over the Phillies. Down and away, ball 1 on Correa. He has doubled, struck out, and walked.
Okay, I'm not going to, this isn't a guess, but just throw a name out there. Did Aaron Boone do that? Was he there?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
And another Red Sox, you said?
I'm thinking, I don't know why, I'm thinking Alex Rodriguez or Mark Teixeira.
Okay.
One and one on Correa. Let's see. Got, Rodriguez, Jeter, Cano, Teixeira,
Mariano.
Oh yeah, that's right. Two balls, 1 strike.
What was the other team?
2007 Red Sox.
Pedroia, maybe. Maybe it was Lesta.
It was not Brad Keller. Maybe that's a hint. Herrera makes the play. Altuve bluffs a tag, and there are 2 down. Why would they show us Brad Keller?
Young. He's young.
Was there somebody named Brad? Somebody whose last name rhymes with Keller?
I think you're reading into it too much there. But there, we need 2 to go. Go ahead. Throw them out there.
Throw who out there?
Your names that you had for the Yankees. Put.
Was it Alex Rodriguez? Strike 1.
Yeah, so a couple more strikes to work with.
Back to the middle, cut off by Mondesi. He flipped it to second. Boy, all of his momentum had him lined up for the play at first. I don't know if Witt was expecting that.
Well, when you're going that fast, and he's got the range, obviously, to get to that ball, and you're going to backhand flip it, going away from the play like that, you really got to accentuate that flip, and you got to throw it to the third base bag. With that type of angle. I mean, it's good to get to it. But see, just that's a tough play, and it's a tough ball for Witt to stay with too. Might have been just as well to go ahead and throw to first base. Your momentum was going that way, and he's got a good arm.
So Grimm has had a great defensive play behind him when Herrera robbed the home run from Bregman, and now an error, and 2 on for Evan Gattis. Popped up into left center field. Gordon is coming in. He's got it. Justin Grimm gets around his walk and an error, and had that play by Rosell Herrera to keep this game scoreless. City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler with Joe Goldberg, director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Kevin Cedergren, associate producers Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Casey Carter. Ken Giles will get the top of the 9th inning. He has served as the Astros closer and has 11 saves this year. They have also used Hector Rondon, who pitched the 8th, and Chris Davinsky.
He's got a 4.38 ERA. You can get him.
Grounded sharply into center field by Mondesi. He is 1 for 4.
First ball, fastball hunt, and he got it. Good swing. That was controlled. He wasn't trying to do too much there. Just put it in play. Right back up the middle. Good stroke. Good start. Giles 93 to 98 with his fastball slider.
And now let's see if Ned Yost cuts him loose.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Why not? You got Whitley up there. Whitley can protect him. I want to wake on a breaking ball if you can, but look at they're hard anyways. Everything's hard out of Giles' hand.
Giles pitched a scoreless inning at Kauffman Stadium last weekend, but he has never really done well against the Royals with a 7.20 ERA.
McCann is 4 for 18 and throwing base stealers out this year for a 22%. It's not bad.
Sliders in for a strike, 1-1. Witt had a long at bat in the 7th inning against Davinsky. 11 pitches. Davinsky ended up striking him out. His single was back in the 1st inning. That was a line drive off of Dallas Keuchel's left knee to begin the game. Keuchel hung in there and pitched 6 scoreless innings.
His 2nd pitch. Giles, he has quick feet. That's a pretty good move. But over his career, base stealers are 11 for 14 off of him. I'd love to see Ned, with the guys that can run, start moving them again, become an action team, pressure defenses. Because he takes his time getting home. He's like 1-4, 1-5, you know, and that high leg kick and no slide step, that's plenty of time for just an average jump to make it safely. But he's quick over there, so you can't get too big of an initial lead. But you can make up some time with his leg kick.
There he goes. And it's in the dirt. And Mondesi ran with his head down. I don't know if he could have gone to third, but he does not take a peek in at home plate when he runs. So by the time he realized it was up against the screen, it was too late.
Yep. Nice job, though. He can make that. Be aggressive. The way the Royals have lack of runs they've been able to score, you're going to have to press the pedal and go. Excellent jump. And he would have had that with no problem had McCann caught it cleanly and thrown down there.
Whit Merrifield was just informed that on an appeal he swung on that last pitch. So it's 2-2. Fly ball right field. Plenty deep enough. Springer makes the play. He's got a strong arm, but Mondesi is in there. Runner at third base with 1 out.
And you know what, Witt, that's exactly what he's thinking. He's thinking, I got to get the out. We got to get him over the other to third base. Watch him use his bottom hand here. That's a ball in the middle. He could have pulled it, but he knows the situation. We have to be able to get that run home. So he's able to get the job done. That's a nice productive out. And they've got to find a way to get this run home here. A.J. Hinch going to play his infield in.
Last half inning, Herrera took a home run away from Alex Bregman. Now he has a chance to drive in the first run of the game. Outside for ball 1.
I don't know with the new players that he would suicide squeeze, but it's not a bad opportunity here to try to get a run any way you can, but we'll see. We got speed at third base, speed at the plate.
Mondesi was not coming down the line.
Gurriel.
And when Herrera shortened up to bunt, I think you're going to say Gurriel came in. Bregman stayed back at third. So if he tries to bunt again here to get the run home, he wants to go to the left side.
That's right.
2-0. 3 balls, no strikes. Mike Moustakas is on deck. The Royals have stranded 11. The Astros have stranded 9. Three and one. 98 miles an hour from Giles.
Herrera saying, all right, look, I have everything to gain and nothing to lose. Made a game-saving catch. Now I'm going to get the go-ahead run potential winning RBI. Here we go. Shorten it up, put it in play in the middle. Right back to the pitcher.
And he drives it into deep center field. That is up against the bottom of the wall. Rosell Herrera comes through, and he's digging for third. Herrera has an RBI triple, and the Royals lead 1-0 in the 9th inning.
That's what they've been waiting for. A big hit. Oh, man. That is nice. That is so sweet. Well, how about that? That's what he did. He shortened it up. Giles said, you know what? This guy's new. He can't hit. I'm going to challenge him. And look at that ball was swung on, and it had a lot on it. It hit the base of the wall in the fly. I thought he might have a chance to get out of here. And then he says, you know what? I'm going to get to third. I'm going to trade places with Mondesi with one out. He got a chance to score him again here with Moose.
And he just earned the KC Urban Youth Academy $1,000 with that triple. Royals have raised $9,000 so far this year, donated by the Kansas City Honda dealers. And the infield remains in for Mike Moustakas, who is 0 for 4 so far tonight. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, he's expecting a couple of fastballs with all that heat from Giles, and Giles has gone off speed.
You cannot take Herrera out of that lineup now, man. He's having a game.
Mike Moustakas has faced Giles 1 time before tonight, and he hit a home run. Battle chase 3 in a row. So we've been wondering who's going to get the 9th inning. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com/saves to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save. Tim Hill's warming up. Willie Peralta is warmed up. Salvi takes low, ball 1. The Astros have Gonzalez, Kemp, and White coming up in the bottom of the 9th. There's 7, 8, and 9 hitters. They also have Josh Reddick on the bench. In the air to center field, and Kemp brings it down. So the first save opportunity since the Kelvin Herrera trade, and it's Rosell Herrera who takes a home run away and then puts the Royals in front. took away a home run, and then he drove in the go-ahead run. Coming up after the game, Boulevard Royals Live with Joel. We go from Royals manager Ned Yost. Reaction from the Royals clubhouse, talking about Rosell Herrera no matter what happens tonight. And Danny Duffy, who pitched 6 scoreless innings and struck out 7. After him, Kevin McCarthy, a scoreless 7th. Justin Grimm, thanks to Herrera, a scoreless 8th. And now it'll be Tim Hill pitching the bottom of the 9th inning with a switch hitter coming up, Marwin Gonzalez. Then a left-hand batter, Tony Kemp. And then we'll see what Ned and A.J. Hinch have up their sleeves after that.
Yeah, hey, look, Tim Hill, it's all about the moment right here. Just come in, no big deal. It's not pressure. This is just a huge, huge W. But look, fill up the strike zone down low and use your defense like they've been playing all night. Fastball, slider change.
Brian McCann is the 3rd scheduled hitter, so you get the switch hitter. And from a batting average perspective, Gonzalez is better on this side of the plate, but most of his production been as a left-hand batter. And then the 2 lefties coming up after that.
Keep that sinker down low.
0-2. All right, Bud, 2009 Yankees.
Mariano Rivera.
Strike 2. All right, 2007 Red Sox. David Ortiz again. Strike 3. You're out.
No, I'm out. Yeah, you're right. Oh, Matsui.
Dozier backhands, bobbles, and still got him. And Goins was right there. Now those two haven't played together much, so they're going to talk it over right now. And I think Dozier probably said, was that an easier play for you? And I think it was.
Yeah, but you know, right-handed hitter, they weren't expecting him to hit it in that hole there, but you know, you can't expect anything in baseball. Heck, you never know what's going to happen. Hill was able to get there plenty of time. I'm sure he's going, oh no, just get it to me. That's a big out.
Now lefty, Hill and Kemp. And Kemp takes outside, ball 1. All right, but if you had a young first baseman right there, 1-0 game, bottom of the 9th inning, you don't want to plant any negative seeds there. What would you have said to Dozier if he said, did I do the right thing there?
Say, hey, we got the out, man. Let's worry about the next play here. Let's move on. This is over. Then talk about it later inside the clubhouse.
I was wondering if you were going to say that, because
you
don't want Hunter Dozier with anything in the back of his mind right now.
No, hey, look, make this next play. It's coming to you. That's what you want. Expect the ball to come to you. Don't say, uh-oh, don't hit it to me. And that's sometimes, there you go. Things were going too good tonight for Hill to not be able to close this thing down. This has been a long time in waiting now. Sure, they got 1 out to go. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Anything can happen. But the way that the double plays have happened, you know, everything's gone the Royals' way tonight in this really, really tight ball game.
And that is the difference maker on defense and at the plate. The Royals have pitched well too. They've pitched 8 2/3 scoreless. It's not over yet with Hill and Brian McCann. This is McCann's first at bat. He came on behind the plate in the top of the 8th inning. One ball, 1 strike, and he didn't have a very good swing there. Last weekend, Tim Hill faced Brian McCann twice and struck him out both times. A little bit wide, 2 balls, 1 strike. Fly ball, shallow center. Merrifield is there, and the Royals snapped their 9-game losing streak by shutting out the Astros in Houston. And it was Rosell Herrera taking away a home run in the 8th driving in a run in the 9th, and then Tim Hill gets his first major league save, getting Gonzalez, Kemp, and McCann.
Fantastic job. How about a hip hip hurrah? There you go, bud.